Welcome to Library Seminars, a platform for the presentation of ideas and research in support of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's mission. I'm Lisa Clark, your NOAA Central Library host. Today's webinar, an overview of NOAA's Lantern program, will be presented by Tracy Levstik, Lantern Director at the Office of Human Capital Services. Tracy is based in the Performance Culture and Learning branch located in Boulder, Colorado. Before I turn the microphone over to Tracy, I do have a few housekeeping items I'd like to go over. This presentation is being recorded and will be available on the NOAA Central Library YouTube channel by later this afternoon. All audience members are muted, but we will be accepting questions throughout the webinar, which Tracy will address at the end of her presentation, as well as at one point in the middle of her presentation. I encourage you to type your questions as you think of them into the questions chat box, which is located in your control panel. And while you're in the control panel, please feel free to download today's slides, as well as a fact sheet located under handouts. You'll also find links for the Lantern program in the chat box. So with that last detail, let's start the presentation. The mic is all yours, Tracy.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for that great introduction. I really appreciate it. I am Tracy Levstik. I work for NOAA's Office of Human Capital Services in the Performance Culture and Learning branch. I'm duty stationed out in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, where we just got about 6 inches of fresh snowfall overnight. So it is still a winter wonderland out here for sure. And I'm very pleased to be joining you all today to speak about Lantern. Lantern stands for Leveraging Abilities, Needs, Talents, Energies, and Resources Network, and it is our program, NOAA-wide program, that's replacing the NRAP program, the NOAA Rotational Assignment Program. So what is Lantern? Lantern is an agency-wide employee development program. The purpose of it is to enhance your professional growth, to build on your existing knowledge, skills, and abilities. It gives you the opportunity to learn new skills, grow your network, explore other parts of the organization. And for offices, it's a chance to accomplish the work of your office with extra human power. So we officially launched the new platform on February 16th of 2021. So we've been live for about 2 months now. I did a search of the platform right before this call, and we have 341 community members, which is really great. We've had 77 opportunities been created so far in the system, and of those, 39 are currently open, and folks can apply to those and view those assignments. And we've had 127 applications to date. So we're really excited to see the platform taking off in this way. And I would encourage you after the presentation today, if you haven't gone into the Lantern platform and created your profile and user account, that you do so. That way you can set up search filters and start getting new opportunities sent to you as they're posted. So let's start first with why and how to change. Why did we change from the old NRAP system, the old NRAP platform, to Lantern? We had back in January of 2020, our NRAP platform was forced to sunset. And that change was a little bit unexpected. And we literally had the internal software die on us. So at that point, it just couldn't keep up with the pace of the technological change we were asking of it. So we had to search around for new opportunities, new platforms that we could explore. We started by looking at, could we duct tape the old system together again, and what would that look like, as well as exploring external options. And it became clear very early on in our research that open opportunities sponsored by USA Jobs was clearly the premier Cadillac program for employee development with so many wonderful features, really great automation, and the vast support of the Open Opportunities Help Desk and team behind it. So at that point, we decided to pursue a contract with Open Opportunities within my office, which is the Office of Human Capital Services. And we got a team together of 22 different people from all of the line offices and several of the staff offices who've assisted with designing our custom platform. We began meeting regularly in May, 2 to 3 times a week, and we've had over 100 meetings to date to make sure that the platform is really specific and accomplishes the needs that we have as NOAA. So what's new under Lantern? And I have to say, this is absolutely my favorite slide because there's so much that's great and new in employee development that Lantern lets us do. So the first great thing is the Lantern platform is available to you 24/7, 365 days a year. And that's a big change from our old internal NRAP platform, where I would send out either an annual or a biannual call for opportunities, and then a call for people to apply to those opportunities. So if you missed that call, that annual or biannual call, you could have literally a 6-month gap in time before you would hear from me about new things that were coming out in the system. So now, tomorrow, if you go to bed tonight, tomorrow morning you wake up and you say, I've got a great idea for an opportunity I could enter in the system, you can put it in. Within 2 or 3 days, your line office coordinator will approve it and it will be live on the system and people can start applying, right? Then you can make your selections in the time frame that you set and bring that person on board. So anytime you want to do it 24/7, 365, we're really excited about that feature. As I mentioned earlier, you can go into the platform and set up your search filters, up to 10 filters you can set, and have those results emailed to you. So if you go in there today and you say, geez, these 39 opportunities are great, but there's not that specific special one that I want to see, I'm going to set up a filter so I catch it the minute that it goes live, right? That will be emailed to me. So you could say, I'm only interested in opportunities in the 0343 job series, right? The management and program analyst series. Or I'm only interested in positions that mention these certain words, right? Or only positions that are within fisheries, for example. So you can set up those filters and then anything new would come to you. In terms of opportunity types, in addition to those longer term details that we're used to under NRAP, those between 30 and 365 days in length, they can be part-time or full-time. The Lantern program also offers 2 additional opportunity types. We have one-time opportunities and recurring opportunities. And I'll explain more what those 2 opportunity types look like further on in the presentation. Lantern also offers a streamlined approval process, which is really great. And as I mentioned, you can create the opportunity, your coordinator will approve it, and you can make your selection, that person can start. We are also requiring SF52s for opportunities that are 30 days or longer. And what's wonderful about that is now employees will have proof in their EOPF of the assignments that they have completed. So when they go to apply for that next job or that next promotion, they have that official documentation in their EOPF to show that they completed that detail. So here is a snapshot of our landing page on the Open Opportunities platform. And later on in the presentation, I'll actually take you into the platform so you can see it in more detail, but this is what our landing page looks like. You can see here our NOAA logo, our NOAA Lighthouse Lantern picture, and our tagline, which is lighting the path of employee development. It also has a little snapshot about what the Lantern program is and a link to our internal NOAA Lantern website where you can find lots of great resources and information. And in fact, this is an example snapshot of what our internal website looks like. And I will also take you here later on in the presentation. I encourage you to bookmark the site. I believe it is in the chat. So you can go in and bookmark the site and return to it and visit it for all of your Lantern questions and needs. So in terms of one-time opportunities, these are opportunities that happen only once. There's no paperwork involved. You stay in your current job. There's no formal agreement. So I'm curious for those of you who are on, if you could help me do some brainstorming. And what do you think are some examples of one-time opportunities that we could ask? And I believe we'll type those into chat. So what are some, just thinking about your current work portfolio, what are some one-time opportunities that you think, geez, I could use some help with that? Let us see what we get in our chat box. What would a one-time opportunity look like?
I see one in there, Tracy. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see it quite, but so if you could read it to me.
Oh, sure. No, I'll go ahead and do that. It's one person's wrote, I had a 1-year 0343 end on December 31st. Is there any way to get an SF52?
Oh, that's a really good question. Let's save that one for the very end, if you don't mind. We'll come back to it. So why don't,
Okay.
let me show you some examples of these one-time opportunities. This will get our creative juices going as a collective. So examples, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I did see a number of people are responding now. It says help with an event, office reorganization, developing a specific app or API, backfill so I can go on my own lantern detail, helping to facilitate a retreat. Let's see what else. Someone needs a person to participate in a research survey for a few weeks, so could pick up a new experience. Yeah, help plan a conference or a workshop or create a storyboard. Those are some
wonderful. Well, you are all being very creative thinkers, so that's good. And some of those are one-time opportunities. I heard some details and some recurring. So we'll kind of sort through those as we go. So these are examples of one-time opportunities that Open Ops recommends we share. Things like assisting with a meeting, writing a paper or report, facilitating a meeting, or shadowing a leader. So for those of you who are leaders within your office, or if you want to encourage the leader within your office to do this, you can go into the platform and say, I'm going to create a 4-hour shadow experience or an all-day, an 8 or a 9-hour shadow experience, right? And it's a virtual experience given our current pandemic environment, but people can apply for the opportunity then to shadow you. And what I recommend for shadows is you start with a coffee talk in the morning, a 15-minute to 30-minute overview to find out why the person wanted to shadow you, what their goals are for the day, and then time for you to explain your philosophy as a leader, what your portfolio looks like, what the meetings you have during the day are going to look like, and what your goals are for those meetings, and then do a closeout with that person at the end of the day after they've shadowed you during your meetings to find out what they learned and what additional questions they have. But shadowing is a great opportunity. We'd love to see the platform used in that way. So please either consider offering that shadow opportunity for folks to shadow yourself or encourage your supervisors to enter their own shadow opportunities. So in terms of recurring opportunities, so some of you entered recurring opportunities, you can retype them in now here again. So these happen several times. You stay in your current job, there's no paperwork required and no formal agreement. The time spent is typically less than 20% of your time. So what are some examples of recurring opportunities that you all can think of? So it'd be more than once, several times. And I'll use the opportunity for a water break.
All right, some person said a newsletter.
Fantastic. You must be a plant from a previous Lantern call. That's a great one. Are there any additional ones in there, Lisa, that you see?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay. Well, that's a great. Writing a monthly newsletter is the very first example that we have. Also participating in a monthly focus group or facilitating a regularly scheduled team meeting. So those are examples of recurring opportunities. What that would look like, for example, with the monthly newsletter is you can say, geez, I'd really love to have a monthly newsletter, but I just don't have the bandwidth to produce one, right, for my office or my team. So I'm going to offer a Lantern opportunity. I'm going to need 8 hours of someone's time once a month for a year, right? I want to do this for a whole year. And maybe they can give me a Friday every month to put the content together, maybe do an interview and write up an op-ed and get me something by the end of that day. So that would be an example of a recurring opportunity. I also just put one in a little while ago for someone to crunch some data for me for the other program I manage, which is NOAA's Leadership Competencies Development Program, looking for someone to analyze the last 2 or 3 years of data, right, from the midpoint and final evaluations for that program, and bring me the top 3 or 4 really high level recommendations for improving curriculum and the program experience, right? So it'd be 40 hours of someone's time. I'm not picky if that's all in 1 week. They can give me a whole week to crunch that time, or if they want to spread it out over a 4 or 5 week period, 40 hours total time to get me that data and that report. So you can start thinking about, as we move through these different examples, what kind of work you might be able to chunk out of your own portfolio or your own branch or division to bring employee development opportunities, bring people into your group and help you accomplish the mission of your office, as well as what opportunities you might be interested in. What I love about these one-time and the recurring opportunities is if you have a pretty heavy, overwhelming work portfolio of your own, which we all tend to do, to have that, you can still get a valuable employee development experience yourself by doing a recurring opportunity or several one-time opportunities. So lastly, we have detail opportunities. So these we also had under NRAP, but I do want to highlight what they are. They are the most popular piece of opportunity that we have. So there can be part-time or full-time. They're between 30 and 365 days in length. You are doing work for someone else for an extended period of time, and it's more formal, right? There's an agreed upon schedule. It will now require an SF-52. Optional, but very highly encouraged are the Lantern Learning Agreement and Evaluation. We had these 2 forms also under NRAP, and they are signed and maintained by the home office supervisor, the host office supervisor, and the participant, and they set out the parameters of the assignment. What is the schedule going to look like? What are the major projects, duties, and outputs the person's going to perform over that detail? And no longer will they be submitted centrally to us in program management, but they are going to be maintained by the participants in the assignment and shared between the parties of the assignment. So again, highly recommend those just to get everyone on the same page. And while we're on that topic, can you brainstorm some ideas for details? It could be work that you have within your own portfolio that you're thinking, I could really have someone come in and tackle that chunk of work, right? Or plan that conference. But I'm giving too many hints.
Okay, what person wrote, create records management website.
Wonderful. That's a great, great detail opportunity, creating a website or taking your website to the next level, right? Mm-hmm. Adding animation, adding video, adding training segments to it would all be really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Another to fill a temporary vacancy or develop regional video or support for weather, water, climate board or sub-teams.
Wonderful. You guys are doing a great job of thinking up different ways to bring folks in on details. That's fantastic. So these are other examples that you could do. So I could bring someone in to backfill behind me for 4 months to manage the Lantern program, right? Or that other program I managed, the Leadership Competencies Development Program, someone to manage their graduation ceremony that's coming up in October. So you can think of different things in your portfolio and how could you chunk the work to bring someone in on a detail. Really great. So now we're going to take an opportunity to look at Lantern through 2 unique lenses. We're going to start with the lens of, I want to create an opportunity, right? I've got so much work. There are things that are always on my to-do list, but I just can't get to them in my normal day. So I am going to create an opportunity. What I want you to start by doing is think about it from the applicant's perspective as you're crafting your write-up, okay? You want to think about the carrots, the what's in it for me. What skills will the person gain? How will they grow their network? How will they collaborate across the organization, right? What training can they attend? What high-level meetings can they attend or briefings can they be involved with giving? What impactful work products can they develop? So you want to be authentic to what the person will actually be doing, but don't hesitate to think of, how could I spice this up? What carrots can I put in there? You know, what meetings could they attend? What exposure could I give this person? So that when they're comparing opportunities side by side, they apply for my opportunity and not the other one, right? So think about it from their perspective. You can also, while we're on that topic, on the Lantern website, we have fillable forms for all 3 opportunity types. So if you want to take some time to carefully craft the description, maybe run it by your home office supervisor or your peers before you cut and paste it into the actual platform, you can do that, right? So I like having fillable documents that I can kind of play with and share before I type live into an online platform. So take advantage of that for sure. The other thing you want to do when you're creating an opportunity is advertise it widely, right? So Lantern is kind of like a spider web. We attract a certain amount of traffic to the opportunities that are posted there, but you are your own best advocate for your opportunity. So once your coordinator posts your opportunity and it's live on the site, you will get a link, and you can send that link out widely within your own networks. And we encourage you to do that. If your office has a newsletter, or your division director or DAA has an all hands, they could mention that your opportunity is open. So think about ways that you can get the word out about your opportunity as well. So that's on the create side. On the other side, so now looking at the other lens, and you want to apply for an opportunity. You're thinking, wow, you know, I've been in this pandemic environment for going on 14, 15 months. I'm feeling stagnant, and I would love to get out there and get an employee development opportunity. You can certainly do that now. All of our opportunities at this point are pretty much virtual, remote work. Because of the pandemic. When we were under NRAP, we were about 50% virtual opportunities, 50% face-to-face. I see the trend definitely still moving in a virtual direction, even after the pandemic ends. And what I love about that is if you are in San Diego, California, and you want to work with a group in Silver Spring, Maryland, but you don't want to travel and live there for 4 months, there may be an opportunity to do that, right, through a Lantern assignment. So it really opens so many doors. We're such a geographically dispersed agency that I love to see these remote and virtual opportunities really take off. So what I encourage you to do if you want to apply is start by being really proactive, right? So there are 39 opportunities on the site. Definitely look through those and apply to the ones that meet your needs, your development needs. But you can also reach out and approach a supervisor or an office directly. And you might say something like, I've always admired your work style, your leadership style, or the work of your office. And I would love the opportunity to come over and do some work with you. Would you consider posting a Lantern opportunity to which I could apply, right? You may not necessarily select me. Hopefully you'll get lots of great applicants, but I'd love the chance to be considered. And often we found that little nudge for an office or for a supervisor is enough for them to take the time to create an opportunity, and then you can apply for it, right? I also encourage you to apply to several. That just increases your chances of getting a great match. And then when you sit down to talk to your first line supervisor about your interest, now's a really great time because we're right in the middle of midterms, right? Our mid-year evaluations. So it's a great time to say, you know what, I just attended this Lantern presentation. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I'd really like to undertake an opportunity, right? You want to build the business case to gain their buy-in for you to do an assignment. One idea is that you cover your own workload, as an attendee mentioned, using the Lantern program. So you could say, look, we know my portfolio is huge. Let's advertise it. I'll write it up as a Lantern detail. We'll bring someone in to backfill behind me so that I can go out and do a full-time opportunity, right? If that's not possible, you might say, I know my workload's massive. I'd really like to do a part-time opportunity where I'll be gone every Thursday and Friday, or just Fridays for the next month or 4 months, or whatever the detail is that you're interested in, or those one-time opportunities. So there are lots of different ways to gain a developmental experience through the platform that don't require 100% time commitment. So you really want to think strategically. You want to consider, obviously, the benefits to you, but also what are the benefits to your boss of you undertaking this detail, and your program and your branch, and perhaps even all of NOAA. You know, what network will you gain? What collaboration will you gain? Can you figure out the inner workings of another office, strengthen relationships to make it easier for your home office when you return? So those are some strategies you can use when you're talking with your boss and going in to apply for an opportunity. So for contacts, and we've listed most of these in the chat already, a direct link to the platform is available here. NOAA's internal website, including a really robust FAQ section. We have the link to that website as well. Each line office has a dedicated Lantern coordinator. So your line office will go in and review and approve your opportunity. They'll circle back to you if they have any questions before they publish it. Our goal is to publish within 72 hours of an assignment being submitted, an opportunity coming in. If you have any general inquiries, you can feel free to route them to me at noaa.lantern@noaa.gov. And if you need help, the one somewhat little bit of a tricky part, and it only happens once, is you need to create your login.gov account to access the platform, right? If you run into any trouble doing that, we recommend you email openops@usajobs.gov, not the NOAA National Service Desk. They won't know what you're talking about, okay? So that the inquiries for Lantern need to go to openops@usajobs.gov, and they'll be able to quickly step you through and help you get logged into the Lantern platform. And again, that's something you just need to set up that login.gov account one time. So we're going to pause here for some questions, and then I will do some demoing in the system with the time that we have remaining. So if there are any questions at this point, definitely feel free to let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Great, thank you. This is so informative, Tracy. Thank you so much. You're welcome. We do have 2 questions and a comment. I'll start with the comment, which I thought was very funny. It says, I asked my supervisor if I could propose a Lantern assignment to help with some of my tasks, and I wasn't sure whether they thought I was a genius or a slacker.
Hopefully the genius part.
I'm voting for genius too.
Yes.
The next question is, what if I work currently below my grade/skill level remote location? It seems to prevent me from participating in opportunities suitable to my degree and skills.
Oh, that's a great question. That really is. So it's kind of a multi-part question. So Lantern is an employee development platform. You can apply for positions that are above your current grade level. That is completely acceptable. You'd want to explain why you think you would be a good match, a good fit for that developmental opportunity in your application, right? It's not, the second part is it's a umbrella kind of platform. So one side of it is open opportunities. The other side is USA Jobs, right? There's one login.gov account, but we are trying to be very clear that Lantern and Open Opportunities is employee development. USA Jobs is for jobs, right? So even though there's one login.gov account that will access both systems, it's really important to know that Lantern is for those employee development opportunities. As an employee, you remain an employee of your home office. Your home office continues to pay your salary and benefits and process your time and attendance while you're on your Lantern opportunity. So that's important to consider. There are no temporary promotions allowed under Lantern, and you remain in your current grade, but you can do a higher level graded opportunity if you'd like to gain that experience. So hopefully that answers your question. If not, feel free to type more in to the chat, or you can talk with me offline. I'm always happy to do that about certain particular unique situations. Any other questions?
There was one that we had asked earlier. I don't know, hopefully this is the time.
Oh yes, can you remind me of that?
Sure. It says, I had a 1 year 03043 end on December 31st, 2020. Is there any way to get an SF52?
That's a really good question. What I would recommend that you do is reach out to your human resources business partner or business advisor and ask for specifics on that. So that would be through the Office of Human Capital Services, OHCS, and you would want to ask your business advisor or business partner if you can get an SF52 for that completed experience. My understanding is they want for us, we are to submit our SF52s 2 pay periods prior to the start of a detail. So when an office approaches us and says, I want to bring someone in on a detail, if they came to me today, I would say, try to set your start date around June 20th, right? That gives you 2 weeks to have the opportunity up. That gives you a week or two to select the person, and then it gives the person's home office time to create the 52 and for OHCS to process it. They will do it retroactively for Lantern, but I would recommend outside of Lantern that you talk with your business partner, your business advisor.
Great. One last question came in. You did get a thanks from that last person who asked that question. This last question says, will future line office PCO opportunities be routed through Lantern?
You know, that's a really good question, and I have not heard any mention of that, but I can certainly follow up with the DUS office and see with USAO if that is something that they would do. We would certainly, right now it's kind of a herding cats process. Whenever I see a detail come out outside of Lantern, trying to contact that office and say, hey, it's great you have a detail, can you route it through Lantern, or the next one route it through Lantern. So it's just part of that culture change with the platform being so new and available 24/7, 365. We're still trying to rein in all of the opportunities to work through here. Even for future LCDP assignments, that other program that I manage, the Leadership Competencies Development Program, those details will also route through Lantern in the future. So we're working on it, put it that way, and we will encourage details to be routed through Lantern, but I'll reach out to them and suggest it. It's a great idea.
Wonderful. I got one last question, and is it okay to ask it now, or do you want to wait till later?
Sure, that's fine. What's our time?
Oh, we've got about 25 minutes. That's good.
Perfect.
This question asks, if I take an assignment / detail at a higher pay grade, will I be paid at the higher level?
That's a great question, and the answer is no. So there's no temporary promotions allowed under Lantern. Our assignments are also not capped then at 120 days. You can do a detail up to a full year. So those are some of the unique nuances of Lantern, but no temp promotions, and they can be up to a year. So at that point, why don't we transition to the second part? Does that sound good, Lisa, if we do that?
Sounds perfect. Okay,
great. So you guys will just see, I could stop sharing my screen, but I will just go straight over here. Can you all see the Lantern website?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I wanted to take an opportunity to step you through here. And again, I really do recommend that you bookmark this site. It's not user-friendly. You're not going to remember this Google string, although some of you might, but I run the program. I can't manage or to remember this Google string. But this is a really handy website. I'm in here lots throughout the day. We have a great announcements page, and I would highlight this to you. If you're looking to post any one of the 3 opportunity types soon, Alexandra Buds with OPM, she goes by Alex, would like you to reach out to her, and she'd like to set a time to actually virtually watch you type it in. It's a user accessibility study that they're doing. The great thing about it, the carrot for you all, is if you have any questions whatsoever as you're entering your assignment, she can answer them for you. So if you'd like a little extra help and support, and also like to support the utility of the platform, we encourage you to do that. We've got a great section here about how does Lantern work. The next section is Lantern training. So lucky you, you've already done section 1, because that is basically the presentation that I just gave, is session 1. So what I would encourage you to do is start with this training segment 2, which is all about logging in. So you can see we've recorded the webinar. We have a transcript and a slide deck for how you log in. Then when it's time for you to create an opportunity, you can click on this link. If you want to search, view, and apply for opportunities, we've got a mini training segment on that. And lastly, how do you select applicants and close an opportunity, including the SF52 process and workflow, which is unique to Lantern. We have a section on that. So what's great about these mini training segments is they're about 15-20 minutes in length max, and you can hit just the piece you need, right? So if you're going to apply, you just need this one, right? If you're going to, it's time to select someone, you can just click on this link, right? And get that information you need just in real time. We have also been offering Lantern office hours sessions. The intent of these is you will have attended or undertaken the training already, and then you will come to one of our office hour sessions where you can have any questions answered live in real time by me or another member of the Lantern team. So our remaining office hour sessions are Tuesday, April 27th, and then Tuesday, June 1st. And then this is a link where you can sign up for those meetings. So that's on here. Lantern contacts, so this is who your coordinators are by office. So you can see we've got a representative for each office, and I am the representative for the staff at corporate offices. So I would be the one approving your opportunities. We have a whole section for creators, lots of different questions and answers here. A section for applicants, a big section on resources. It starts with the training, office hours, and then here is the Lantern SF52 information. So if you're going to be doing a detail, the workflow, examples of what the detail SF52s look like, and a sample of unclassified duties, which are required for each detail, is here. And if you have any questions, I've got 2 wonderful OHCS colleagues who are managing this inbox, detail 52s period, for Lantern at NOAA.gov. Those Lantern forms that I mentioned are here, the agreement and the evaluation, and then those fillable forms. So if you want to start saying, you know, I'm going to type up a detail opportunity and I'm going to show it to my first line supervisor, see what they think, and then I will cut and paste it into the platform, you can do that. And lastly, we've got a really robust FAQ section here with lots of different questions and answers. So if you think of a question even later today or tomorrow and you don't see it here, definitely email it to me. We work on updating this regularly to keep it really robust. Okay, any questions on the website? I know I kind of flew through that, but there's a lot of good meat in this site.
I don't see questions yet.
Okay, perfect. All right.
I would like to do a quick plug though. This is probably a great opportunity to download the slides as well as the FAQ handout, which is under your control panel under the handouts menu. So a lot of the links and so forth that people are interested in would be in those 2 documents.
Wonderful. That's a great plug. Thank you for that. So again, definitely bookmark this site. You can come back and visit it. And the best way to start would be to click on the training and go right into logging in. If you're like me and you have a USA Jobs account you haven't checked in 20 some odd years, I found my password on a Post-it note and it still worked. But if you're not that lucky, follow these steps and you'll be able to log in hopefully fairly easily. And then I'll show you what actually the platform looks like. So I'm going to minimize you all and sign in. So just ignore my Hotmail password. I know that dates me here. And I'll show you what the platform looks like. And this happens. Don't let it scare you. If you get a whoops, hit it again, hit the sign in again, and you will get directed to the platform. So you will land here on your landing page. You can see my name's up at the top, and the opportunities I've been invited to apply would be listed here. Those I have participated in would be listed here. Those I have created would come next. So you can see I've had 4 that I've created. I'm a very big proponent of the platform, as you can tell. So I have 2 that are currently open that I'm looking for people for. And I have 2 that are in progress, right? That people are doing work for me on. And then if I come down here, to NOAA's Lantern, you can see in parens that there are 39 opportunities currently open. So that is what I'd like to show you, what that looks like. So this is our landing page, right? If you want to start with creating an opportunity, you click here and go right through into creating an opportunity. If you'd like to see, set some filters, you can definitely do that. So you could say, based on what you enter in your profile, I just want to see my best matches, right? What does the system say based on my keywords are my best matches? And you can see that pill popped up. I'm looking just in the Lantern community. I could say, you know what? I'm only interested in things in the staff offices, right? And that dropped me from 6 opportunities down to 2. Right? So I may want to say, okay, well, I'm not gonna be that picky. I'm gonna get rid of that pill, right? I'll take all 6. I'm only interested in details or recurring, right? You can see how many are open in each. I'm looking for a particular skill, career field, series, virtual or in person, right? So you can see here then what pops up first are my best matches. So I'm in training and development. Obviously, learning officers, diversity and inclusion would come right up for me, and some other matches. And then they go down based on, you know, from my best match to my better match to my good match. So if you want to save this search, that's going to be right under this lighthouse where you can go in and actually save the search. Okay, so that's where you want to start. And then if you want to remove your filters, you can just do that, right? And remove your filters. So I'm going to go back here just to show you, this is in our admin side that you wouldn't necessarily see unless you're an admin. But you can see here how many accounts we have. We've gained 2 members since I started this presentation. And you can see here, this is how many assignments are currently open and how many applications that we've had. So this is just a quick snapshot of what it's like when you're moving throughout the system, but it's meant to be very intuitive, right? It's meant to be super, super easy. If I click on this button and I click on federal employees and continue, I have started creating an opportunity, right? So you'd want to say, yep, I want to put this in Lantern. And it's going to be in the staff office in OHCS. I need 1 person. I can type in a series here, but that's optional, right? And then you pick one-time recurring or detail. How many hours do you need, where, and you hit next. And it'll walk you through very, very easily the different pieces of it. So while I'm still in here, if there are any questions on the actual platform, I'm happy to answer before I stop sharing my screen and just show you my face.
The question came in just now. It says, is this website accessible via personal computers?
That's a really good question. I'm trying to think. I would say I haven't had that question before. You can try it. And if you can't get in, then definitely use your government computer. I've only tried it on my government laptop. That's all that I have. So I'm not exactly sure.
Someone actually just said yes, so they must be
Oh,
on a personal
good.
computer. So thank
I'm
you.
going to add that to our FAQs. That's a great question.
Somebody also asked if you would please show us again how to get to Lantern once in the USA jobs.
Yes, absolutely. So let me see. I'm going to minimize myself so I'm not staring at myself. Let me see. Go back here. Okay. So again, you'll drop in to your dashboard. This is called your dashboard. The easiest way to me to get there is I scroll down to the bottom of the dashboard. Under Community, Lantern will be your first choice. And you just click on it and it'll pop right open. Okay. Also, so if I close that, which is very brave of me, and I go here back to our website, right? The link to the platform is right here on the home page. So if I click here, it'll go take me to the login screen, or perhaps because I've already logged in, I come right here.
That was another question. So thank you for showing us that.
Oh, super. That's the easiest way is bookmark the Lantern site and click it right from here.
Another person asked, how do you become a member of the community? Is it by saving a search?
That's a great question. So you'll want to take the training for part 2, logging in, right? And once you've created your login.gov account, then you're a member. You're a member of the community. You say you're part of the Lantern community. You have the option to select Lantern, and then you're officially part of the community. That's a great question. Any other questions? I'm happy to answer.
There was another question that came in earlier that asks, can there be paid overtime allowed under Lantern?
That's a really good question. So as I mentioned earlier, while you're on your Lantern opportunity, you remain an employee of your home office. So your home office continues to pay your salary and benefits and process your web TA. Earning overtime or comp time is highly discouraged under Lantern because you're basically doing work for another office, right? Your host office, but your home office is paying. So if you're going to earn overtime or credit hours or what have you, while you're doing the work of your opportunity, your detail, I highly recommend you discuss that with your home office supervisor first and see if they would approve that. If they won't, then don't do it, don't accrue it. Sometimes, you know, for LCDP, we have people go and do work in other countries, and we have federal holidays, right? 4th of July and such that they don't celebrate over in Europe. And so, you know, we have to be very careful that you don't work that day, right? Because you're not going to get, you're not going to earn credit or comp time or federal overtime worked for working on that holiday. So it's best to think in your mind, I'm still an employee of my home office, so I'm going to try not to incur credit or comp unless it's approved by my home office supervisor well in advance. That just avoids the burn. We don't want anyone to get burned or feel burned.
So there are no questions at the moment.
Okay, wonderful.
But we highly encourage them.
Yes, if you have any additional questions, feel free to type them in. And in the meantime, I would just say, you know, if you think of additional questions, you come to this site, you can find all of our contacts right here. Your coordinators are excellent. We meet once a week to talk about platform improvements, how things are going, what issues are coming up to make sure we don't have opportunities hanging out there unapproved. If you have questions, they're going to be your best, most quick source for an answer. You can also always email me at noaa.lantern@noaa.gov, and I'm happy to answer anything that may come up, or you can send it directly to your coordinator as well.
There, another question just came in that asked, any way for someone to offer services through Lantern?
To offer, you know, that's a really good question. Not yet officially, but I would encourage you to reach out to different offices and different supervisors that you'd like to work with. Right now, that's the best way, although it's outside of the system, for you to kind of offer your services and see if someone will create that opportunity to which you could apply. But that would be a great functionality to add. I'll definitely raise that to the team.
Excellent. Well, while we wait to see if we have any more questions, we have about 5 more minutes for questions. I wanted to just remind people that we are recording this session. So if you are interested in watching it again, or if you know someone else who would be interested in learning more about the Lantern program, look at the NOAA Central Library YouTube channel a little later this afternoon, and I'll have it posted today. I think it's a really great, very informative webinar. So thank you so much, Tracy.
Oh, well, thank you. It's been wonderful to be here with you and to have all these wonderful questions and participants. So I hope after this, you all take the initiative to become community members, look at those opportunities and apply, and also think about what parts of your work or your office's portfolio could you chunk off into different employee development experiences for folks, have folks come into your office and help you accomplish your mission.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap then. Any last comments, Tracy?
No, just thank you so much for the opportunity. Any questions, feel free to send them my way. We're here for you and want to see this platform and program be used to the greatest extent. So I encourage you to be creative and get creating on there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and actually you just got a compliment. I have to read this. It says, "This was an amazing and well done presentation. Thank you so much, Tracy. I really love the information followed by the app tutorial."
Oh,
And
wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I want to just say thank you for just sharing your expertise with us and being so generous with your information. And audience, thank you for watching today on this library seminar. NOAA Central Library is always proud to present the work of the NOAA community, and I hope you all join us again for another seminar another time.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.